Good morning, everyone. That was a big sigh, but you know what? It is chilly this morning. Well, chilly by Puerto Vallarta standards, and chilly mornings are always problematic for me because whenever I wake up and it feels chilly, I feel lazy. I don't ever want to do anything. I just want to chill and be home and do not much of anything. But of course, this is problematic because we have a show to run, and that means that we have to wake up and prepare things to talk about, and then we go looking for news and headlines to share. And today was one of those days in which it was challenging because it's chilly, and I feel like doing very little. I feel lazy. But of course, we found creative ways to take care of ourselves. So the topic of the day is going to be being lazy. Well, not the whole day, but we're going to talk about being lazy in a second. But before we do that, welcome to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we are lazy sometimes, and of course we take a look at our headlines and we see what's going on around our world, just to see how we can best take advantage of our life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Even my nose is itchy. Okay, enough of that. If you are new here, let us know by writing the word new in your comment, and we will be so very happy to give you a nice welcome. If there's something truly important that you wish to bring up during the broadcast, it helps a great deal if you add the letter Q at the beginning of your comment. That way we can make sure that we don't miss it and that we answer to the best of our ability or comment to the best of our ability. Today we have a little bit of snark in our news. We have important information to share about how to get your vaccination certificate if you're here in Mexico. We have a reminder of a nice event coming up this weekend. And then we're going to play one of our favorite games. And I bet you've forgotten what game that is. But, you know, we are in December and it's almost time for the year to end. And we need to prepare our resolutions for next year. So what do? We talk about things that locals should do to call themselves or call ourselves English-speaking locals. But we'll get to that later on in the broadcast. First, let's dive into our news and take it from there. Well, now they are calling them symbolic processions. Here, let's start with some snark. The first day of Guadalupe processions was yesterday, and hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds, either congregated at the main plaza or walked in small groups down the street to head to the Guadalupe church, where they were encouraged to go in and out as briskly as possible, the church knowing that those with strong faith would show up regardless. And they did. As a snarky aside, there is no such thing as symbolic COVID. They call them symbolic processions. And let's just hope that nobody catches symbolic COVID, because there's no such thing. You catch the darn thing and things go south. And I'm willing to bet that by December 11th, when the processions end, it will be business as usual. So my usual habit for this time of the year, and call me a humbug, or whatever you want to call it, I just stay away from downtown if I can help it. So you do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Just try to remain safe. Also in El Centro, and just as in Emiliano Zapata a few days ago, members of the neighborhood association lament the fact that the new administration is apparently disregarding El Centro's needs. There is an increase of homeless people, no trash collection, water and public lighting problems, and also graffiti. We know that homelessness is a complex social problem, and I think we all empathize with that. But any city should be able to address all the other problems mentioned here, and hopefully they will. The members of the neighborhood association try to meet with city officials. The only person that the city sent was the director of permits. And I just don't know how powerful he is. But it is important that people are making noise, because if this is supposed to be this beautiful, glamorous, all important, and friendly tourism destination, well, I don't think people come here to see what they see. when the government does not take care of the city lights and so forth and so on. This is important if you are traveling, or if things get ugly COVID-wise, and our state government decides to begin requesting vaccination certificates for certain activities. You will need your vaccination certificate. This article outlines the two ways in which you can get yours. One is through their website, and the other is by sending a message via WhatsApp to a specific telephone number. And everything is outlined here. To the step, it is in Spanish, of course, but you can surely use Google Translate to translate it if you need that. And of course, as a reminder, having an employer request a vaccination certificate for you to be able to work is a complicated matter. Some people are doing it, but it's not something that the government is happy about. Let us continue with a nice reminder. This is just a reminder that the 5th edition of the Riviera Market Outdoor Market is coming back this Saturday from 12:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. along the Pitillal Riverside Walkway. And as you can see, aside from having the opportunity to shop for all sorts of stuff, you can enjoy different live performers through the afternoon. So if you don't have any other plans for Saturday afternoon and you want to come walking on our side of town, this is a good opportunity to see if there's something you want to buy. And if you're just going to go look around, window shopping is allowed. And speaking of window shopping, do let me know if you happen to know what the Spanish term for window shopping is. There are a couple of them that come to mind. We'll get to that in the second half of the broadcast. Do you know what we call it when we go window shopping in Spanish? Let's see. Oh my goodness, problems with the volume. What seems to be the problem? My indicators are good. If anything, I am peaking. So I'm going to put the microphone further away from my mouth and hope that that takes care of the problem. Okay, so let's see what else we have. We have weather to look at. Let's go there. Can I root for the Laconian Empire and the unknown aggressors at the same time? I have no idea what that is. I hope somebody does. What I do know is that we are enjoying 28 degrees Celsius, feels like 29. Humidity is at 63%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit is 82 degrees. Our weather forecast for today is humid and partly cloudy through the day. High temperature of 30, low temperature of 21. Tomorrow, Friday, we can expect a partly cloudy day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 19, And Saturday, partly cloudy through the day, high temperature of 30, low temperature of 20. And that is our weather forecast. Oh my goodness, volume happiness is good. So I hope you can hear me fine just now. I see I'm still peaking a little bit. Let me turn this down ever so slightly because we don't want to be peaking because that's what makes the volume sound ugly, rather. Okay, anyhow, let's see what is next in this morning. Um, okay, let us first make this little announcement of, oh dear, before I go there. Good morning, everyone. I have a fabulous day. The garbage collection guys are out and about looking for money for the Christmas party. And for a first, we received a letter from the tourist police asking for donations as well, just waiting for Sepal to hit us up. Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't know what I can tell you. What we want to do now is set up our little game, which we're going to play later on. And that little game is this one. We played this before, but we want to play it again because we're looking for even more ideas on things that you have to do or participate in or otherwise engage upon so that you can actually call yourself a Puerto Vallarta English speaking local. So you cannot call yourself a Puerto Vallarta English speaking local until you have blank. Um, kindly take a look at this, and if you have any suggestions, please write them in your comments and I will get them together and we'll publish them as a little treat from all of us to the rest of Puerto Vallarta as an incentive of New Year resolution, things that we should all consider doing. Oh, and I should have muted my other microphone before you start telling me that things are sounding weird. Um, so there you go. We're going to play this in a little while, but first I want to do a little bit of an explanation of what I was feeling this morning. See, this morning I thought to myself, I am feeling so lazy today. What am I going to do? And what I figured I would do is I would talk about one of my favorite subject matters. And we've talked about them before, but let's just talk about them again. Why not? And we're going to talk about huevos. Yes, we're going to talk about eggs. Huevos. We love huevos in this house. I love nice huevos in uh, in my life, I suppose. Let us talk about this word. Notice that the word has is written in white letters, and I did that intentionally because white letters means that you can talk about huevos at the dinner table. No big whoop. But what do we call those tiny little balls, or not so tiny little balls that men have right under our penis? We call them huevos too. And notice that now the word is written in yellow letters to indicate that if you're going to talk about your testicles, you don't call them huevos at the dinner table, nor do you go to the doctor and say, "Hey, doctor, me duelen los huevos. My eggs are itchy." You don't use the word huevos in common in polite conversation to talk about testicles. Um, and as James is saying, huevos tienen muchos sentidos. Yes, there are. You can use the word huevos for many things. For example, if you're courageous, that means that you're ballsy, and that means that you have huevos. In fact, the expression for this particular photograph would actually be "que huevos," how ballsy. Conversely, if you're a coward or you are wimpy about this, that, and the other, um, I don't know what to tell you about the volume, you guys. I think that I sure hope that the volume is. I haven't touched anything. I haven't touched anything. So I'll take a look at the volume when we're done with the broadcast. Again, I promise. In the meantime, if you are ballsy, you can say you have big balls. You can say que huevos. Or if somebody's being a coward, you can say que pocos huevos, or how wimpy. Now these are huevos too. We call it caviar, but these are fish eggs, and so these are huevos for all intents and purposes. And it's perfectly okay to call them hueva, because a collection or a group of fish eggs is called hueva. But this hueva is very different than this hueva. This hueva is the kind of excuse me, hueva you feel when you're lazy, when you're feeling lazy. Que hueva is what you say, and which is really interesting because if you have big balls, you're called huevon, but huevon means you're lazy, so it gets confusing. When you're talking about somebody being ballsy, you don't call them huevon. You say that they have huevos. They have big huevos. So when you're lazy, you do say que hueva. And I put it in yellow because you don't want to say que hueva in public unless you're with your very good friends. Say somebody invites you to the upcoming concert by Justin Bieber, que hueva. Who wants to go? Ugh, no, not me. And here's another one. If somebody proposes, what do you say? Of course, if it's a good marriage proposal and you're going to marry somebody that you really want to marry, or this person is going to otherwise improve your life in one way or another, what do you say? You say yes. But you can also say a huevo. And a huevo is a phrase that you use, again, not in polite conversation. Is an expression that means obviously or something. For example, are we going to go see West Side Story when it comes out at the movie theater? A huevo. Of course we're going to go. So there you go. That is a quick and dirty treaty on huevos and the different ways in which you can get yourself in trouble by not using the word properly. If you go to the little store around the corner and you ask, ¿Tiene huevos? They might answer that they do sell huevos, but they might also look at you a little funny. The end. So now let us take a quick look at all your comments, including the up and down volume, and including how everybody is doing, and including what to do when you're a local, but you don't call yourself a local, or you should do before you call yourself a local, whatever. Let's see what we have. Lots of good mornings. Nice breeze this morning, says Dave. Good to hear. Where's Dave? There's Dave. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Linda and the other Luna checking in from Fluvial. Good morning. It's great to see you. Jonathan, I still want to meet you in person only to hear you say your last name. That is such an awesome last name. It's not even funny. Let's see what else we have. James arrived yesterday and humidity is making me feel lazy. I suppose we're used to the humidity here. Let's see what else. I've heard this, that itchy nose means kiss a fool, but there's nobody to kiss here other than Luna, and she is no fool. You saw James saw a small procession on the Malecon last night. Well, they're going to get symbolic COVID. That's my not my wish, because you don't wish COVID on anyone, but what can I tell you? Ed says, please don't stop making noise on those issues. I have no voice as a turista, but I noticed an increase in all of those things last month. Yes, it is really unfortunate. And hopefully the local government will take a hint and something will change. Let's see. Volume. Oh, James thinks that ventaneando is window shopping. Actually, ventaneando is a phrase that we use for when we want to go dishing or doing puns against someone. The actual phrase that we use in Spanish is chacharear. And I would spell it. You want me to spell it? Let me spell that just so that you know it. Vamos a chacharear. I'm writing this down. And here is the word I just said. It is chacharear. You can also say curiosear, which means that you're just going to go wander around stores with curiosity. But chacharear is the expression. It's a great expression. When you just want to go look for chingaderas, you go chacharear. There you go. Let's see what else we have. Lots of conversation about volume. Good Lord. Um, Sounds like it's time for me to get another mixer. Your images are on and off blurred. Can't read the COVID info. John, that's called bad internet. If you are not able to see the images or if it's blurred, that means that there is bad internet at your end. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about that. But I hope it gets better. You're not a local until you have signed a lease for 6 months of more or more. That's a good one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Until you have your residency. Thank you very much. Until you've eaten at a taco stand. Thank you very much. Until you've volunteered somewhere. Wonderful. Lynn says the garbage collectors visited yesterday. I hope they were sexy. Suzanne says you're not a local until you've been to Moro Paraíso. I'll say yes to that one. Sheila says you're not a local until you'd had a margarita at Lindomar or maybe two during their happy hour. Fair enough. James elaborates, you're not a local until you've actually walked to El Moro Paraíso, so I think I qualified. Dave says you've waited for Telmex all day, all week. Oh, can I relate to that? And add CFE to that? Yes, absolutely. Let's see what else we have. You're not a local until you have gone and got your Jalisco driver's license. Amen to that. Amen to that. Lynn says Moro Paraíso is the plan for this week. Is the restaurant the same name? Yes. Yes, Moro Paraíso. That's the name of the place. Let's see what else. Volume is up and down lots. I just keep looking at my little indicator, and I see that my little indicator is behaving as usual. So I hope, I don't know what to tell you. Let's see what else. Oh dear, Michael gets philosophical. Call yourself a local when you've accepted change. Oh my God. That is so wise, and I love it. I love it because there's so many layers to that remark, my dear Michael. Thank you very much for that. Ventaneando, thanks for the clarification. I never heard of chacharear. Got it. Chacharas started being a word that chacharas are like cheap things, you know, but now chacharear is a common expression, meaning that you just go window shopping or buying knickknacks and things like that. Ed must be an audio guy because he's suggesting that my potentiometer must be getting a little bit dirty. Of course it's getting a little bit dirty, Ed. This is an old mixer, and I know that I can clean it, and I will. Thank you very much for that. And then we have people like Marie who says absolutely no problem with volume audio for me. And Michael who says hear you loud and clear. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't. But we'll try to take a look at this and we'll troubleshoot between today and tomorrow. Barbara says you cannot call yourself an English-speaking local until you have a Mexican Costco card. Interesting. Ryan is also not having problems with the broadcast volume. Good for Ryan. Thank you very much for that. Oh dear, you're not a local until you celebrate the Mexican holidays drinking beer with your neighbors until 4 a.m. That makes me a triple foreigner because I haven't done that in years. How funny. Okay, so I think we are at the end of your comments, and I am grateful for them. I am sorry that some of you seem to have volume woes, and I hope we can figure out exactly what is going on. In the meantime, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity, as always, to get together with you today on Thursday. Tomorrow, we come back with another neighborhood. We're going to explore Jardines de las Gaviotas, and we're going to see what kind of news. Um, we can find for tomorrow's broadcast. So between today and tomorrow, stay happy, stay huevon. I mean, it's a nice day to be lazy. If you can afford to just chill and do not very much, please do that. I need to pre-clean my house because today is a day in which the exterminator comes, and it's filthy around here. So have a great day, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully the volume will be better. Have a good one.